One thing too that you're going to always hear, when I approached for example, my board, my superintendent, and my school board, said, why don't we just give the money back? Because my school district got $139,000. Again, we're $40 per person. And this is the answer you're going to get. Okay? They're going to say, well, we could have signed the MOU and gotten the money and had to adopt Common Core, or we could have not signed the MOU, not gotten the money, and then still have to adopt Common Core. So we chose to get the money. So then they'll say, well, okay, let's just give the money back then. Because they say, well, if you're going to withdraw, if your district's going to withdraw, then you have to give us the raise and top money back. Fine. But then they'll say, well, you also are going to be threatened with having your Title I money taken away, which is for your low-income students in the district. For some districts, that's a significant amount of money. For some districts, not so much. So I looked up Title 13 funding for 2013 for your district. It's $111,000. So I'm going back to this. So worst case scenario is they say you're not going to get any Title I funding. Okay, so $140,000. Your school budget's $12 million. You can't find 1% somewhere, considering it's $500,000 more this year than it was last year. You know, the same with my district in Horseheads. The difference for my district is 1/2 of 1%. Give it back. You'd still be ahead of the game. So that you wouldn't have to pay money all the time. And all the mandates that are imposed on it. Yeah.
This money is grant money, no obligation, or is it a loan? These fundings of $31 a student.
Oh, it's grants. It's a grant.
It's a grant. It's strings, though.
So, what if we had to adopt the Common Core, which is it's the law? How is it?
It's not really a law.
The states are opting out, right? So we have the choice. You said we have no choice. Correct me if I'm wrong. To adopt the Common Core. Can we, as an individual community, opt out, or it has to be a statewide decision?
No, you can. There are some schools in the state that aren't doing Common Core. There's some private schools. If you receive some of this money, it's going to be a lot harder, but there's a big push right now to get out. And they're willing to say, here, take the money back. We don't want it. It's too much. It's too much for us to handle. Yeah.
Are you on a board of education?
Sorry?
Are you on a board of education?
Am I on a board now?
I had a conversation with somebody who was in school administration. It was completely off the record, and he said that it was 10 to 15% of their budget if they either didn't meet standards, that money was held, they weren't allowed to get the money when they were up to standards again, or if they opted out. That's a big disparity between 1% and what you're saying.
Well, depends on what numbers they're using as well. My district, for example, too, when I talked to members of the school board, I gave them the numbers. I said, how much is it realistically when you add in the cost of all the upgraded technology that we're going to have to put in, and everything, all the new curriculums and new textbooks? How much is this really going to cost our district? And I was told $14 million. And their attitude is, we're just going to sit back and see what happens. It's probably just another one of those fly-by-night mandates that are going to happen, and we're not going to see what happens. $14 million for my school district just to implement for $139,000 that we got.
My son works for Utica City School District. He's a computer tech. They bought all these computers. The kids take them home from inner city school, and it costs. This is before the Common Core, and I can't imagine upgrading. All they have to do, the man hours to put in to upgrade this. It's astronomical. It's neat. You know, they have 9 elementary schools, 2 junior highs, and a huge combined high school. But what is that 15% that you were talking about for Alfred Almond School?
Well, he was speaking generally, because he's not from this district. He's from a different area in New York State. He was speaking in general terms. 10 to 15% of their budget is coming from this race to the top and grants involved the race to the top. If your school is not at standards, that money is put in a fund, and they are not allowed to spend it until they are up to standard.
Oh.
And if they opt out, then they lose that money.
Where they put that money, where they spend
he said there was a lot of money gains with it.
Well, and that district might be different from this one or from mine. And each district got for the amount of money, we don't even know what the was.
So if we opt out, if we choose as Alfred-Alma School District to opt out, for example, do we have to meet these Common Core standards as it for the state of New York to get the kids to have their Regents / what was the other diploma coming up? Are you going to get a high school diploma? It's my question.
That's a good question because we've heard different things about what's coming down the pipeline. The state has threatened, I don't know if this is a state or I think it's probably a state thing at this point, has threatened that you will not get a diploma unless you graduated from a Common Core aligned school. So that is one of the strings that is attached. Now that is not, I think that's in their back pocket. That's kind of a threat right now that's out there. So that's the way they're forcing everybody to keep the state standards in place.
Yeah, they're trying to intimidate you then, say you have a choice.
And everything is aligned to the PARCC exam and everything else, that the test that the kids will take is all aligned to the standards. So if you're not teaching to the standards, they're saying that your kids will not be able to pass the test. If your kids don't pass the test, they don't get their high school graduation, their diploma, etc. So there's a lot of threats and strings attached to the entire thing.
But isn't New York a local control state, so the schools can choose to
Yes.
have teachers do their own curriculum
They
aligned
can.
to the Common Core?
That is correct.
Without doing the modules from Engage.
That is correct. And that's what you need to push with your school boards because we are a local control state. So your local public school districts have the right to choose or not to choose the curriculum.
Right.
The mandates are a different thing. You have to understand there's Common Core mandates, or I'm sorry, Common Core standards and Common Core curriculum, two completely different things. The standards are what came down with Race to the Top. The curriculum is a New York curriculum right now that is a choice. The governor says you can adapt, adopt, or ignore. So since we're a local control state, he has to say that. So we can ignore. You as a district can ignore. So, but you have to push your board to do that.